Greetings, friends. Back at it again. We're here with another live. But today we have a really cool guest on our live. We have our Miss America's Outstanding Teen, Payton May, who's going to be joining us, and we're going to wait for her to jump on. Hello, guys. Happy whatever day it is. Is it Thursday? It's Thursday. It's Thursday. I never know what day it is. Here, dip her in. I'm going to scoot myself back. Still my PJ bottoms. Full disclosure. Hi!
Hi,
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, you froze for a second. Hey, how are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I am surviving. I'm trying to figure out how to do all this, but I know you're doing the same thing, and you're also still in school. So I want to know all the things. So you are a high school senior.
Yes.
And so how is this affecting you? Tell us what you're going through. How is it affecting your senior year? I'm sure it is, and your time. I mean, I want to hear all the things you've been up to.
Okay. So we got out of school, I want to say like mid-March, March 17th, March 18th, and they told us we would be out until April 24th or something like that, which is actually tomorrow. And so we thought we'd be coming back after that. And then I think it was roughly like 2 weeks ago, they told us that we were going to be done for the year, and that we're not coming back to school. And I mean, I think it was really hard for me because I'm super duper involved in school. I'm student body president, and I'm in choir, and I do cheer, like just like all these different activities, you know. And it was weird because, you know, like your senior year of high school, you expect to get closure of this like monumental moment, and then of course moving on to the next incredible moment in your life. And so it's weird because all of us don't really get that closure that we were expecting. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, every day is it's weird. We're still in school. I still have, you know, Zoom classes, and I still get to see my friends, but it's so different, and I don't think it's what any of us were really expecting. So it's been hard just trying to kind of survive through that.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And you're in the state of Washington. So
yes.
You guys actually had one of the first actual outbreaks, I think, in the country.
We did. Yeah. And so we took it pretty seriously from the beginning, which I think when they closed their schools down, they closed them down for 6 weeks. And I remember thinking, like, that's so extreme. Like, we don't need to do that, you know, because a lot of other states either hadn't shut down yet, or they were only letting kids out of school for like 2 weeks, basically, you know, like an extended spring break, and then we're all going to come back. And so I remember thinking, like, that's just a long time, you know, like that's not necessary. And then one by one, all the other states were telling them, you know, we're not going back. So it's so crazy. I don't think any of us expected it to happen. I was telling my dad, actually, I was in Utah with my travel companion, Lori, and I remember we were like sitting in the hotel room and just chatting. And I was like, this coronavirus thing is so stupid. It's not even a big deal. Like, I think we're blowing it out of proportions, you know, whatever. And she's like, yeah, I feel the same way. And then like a week later, it exploded.
I felt the same way. My last trip, I got back on March 13th. So it's been over a month.
Oh my gosh.
I was in the airport, and I was trying to figure out, because I was going on another trip the minute I came home, and there was an event I was going to the day that I actually landed. And so I, like, even in my hometown, and that was getting canceled, and I was like, why are these things getting canceled? I was like, it's gonna pass. And now my schedule is cleared out. I mean, for the foreseeable future. Probably I'm expecting like early mid-June I'll hopefully get back to normal.
Yeah.
But that's a while. And
yeah,
it's a bummer. I'm like sad about it, but of course I'm trying to focus on the positives. So what are some things? I know you're going to college.
Yes.
So tell us about where you're going to go to college, what your future looks like. I know you're a wonderful singer. What do you want to do? I want to hear all the things.
Okay.
The good
so
things.
I haven't officially announced where I'm going yet. I'll say it on here because like not that many people are on. We'll keep it low key.
You don't have to say it if you don't want to. It's up to you. I don't want to pressure you. It's your turn.
Okay. Well, this is a special treat for people who are watching the live. They get to know. So I'm going to go to the University of San Diego next year. Yeah.
Yay!
So that's really exciting. And I'm going there on a merit scholarship, which is also really incredible because it's a beautiful campus and like the academics are incredible. So I'm really excited about that. And I'll announce that I'm waiting on my like sweatshirt to come in so I can take a picture.
I know
so I'll announce that like sometime this week. And I'm planning on studying political science and international relations on the pre-law track because eventually I want to go to law school. So that's kind of what I'm interested in, but I'm so excited. And San Diego's beautiful. I love Washington, but I mean, you can't see right now, but like it's been overcast for so long and I miss the sun. And so I'm really excited about, you know, being near the ocean and like being able to study outside. Oh my gosh, it'll just be so fun.
That's going to be amazing. I've gotten to go to California, like Los Angeles area a few times this year. Every time I'm there, I'm like, it's so nice. I'm like, this is
so nice.
I would be so like, even if I were quarantined right now and like could just like open the window and be like, it's so nice. Right now, it's the same here because I'm in Pennsylvania, like near Philadelphia.
Oh yeah.
And it's been kind of the same way. I mean, we go back and forth, but I'm like, come on. But that's awesome that you're going to do political science. And I remember, so I got to watch you get crowned. You didn't know who I was, but I see you.
I didn't.
I was out in the audience. And I love that because you advocate for women or young people getting involved in voting. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So perfect year for you to be Miss America's Outstanding.
I know.
So tell us about that. Why are you so passionate about that? Are you even 18 yet? Can you vote yet? Is the real question.
I am 18. So I turned 18 in September. So I've been able to vote in like, I don't even know, like 3 or 4 elections now, which is always really fun. So let's see how I got involved. The first year, so I've only been competing 2 years. So kind of similar to you. You only did 1 though. So, but we're both like kind of newbies, you know? And my first year I competed, my platform was related to arts education because, you know, I grew up in the arts. It just made sense, right? The arts had done so much for me. And then I was in one of my like math classes or something, upperclassmen math classes. And my teacher was talking about, you know, the election. It was like last year or something. And he was like, well, how many of you are registered to vote and are like planning on voting? And I was in a class, it was my calculus class. It was like mostly seniors who were 18 at the time. And like 1 girl raised her hand out of this, you know, 30-person classroom. And I was like, seriously? You guys aren't gonna vote? Like, that just seems like such a natural thing to me. You know, my parents always told me like, oh, you have to register, you know, but I realized that a lot of kids don't have that either, you know, that support system in their house where like their parents encourage them to vote, or they just like don't really know about it and like know the process or care. And so when I competed again, I was like, I know what I'm going to talk about this year. Like, I know what really matters to me. And so I kind of hit the ground running with that. I'm a national ambassador with Kids Voting USA, which is a national nonprofit that works with elementary schools across the country. Basically, we set up like mock elections for kids that they can complete in their classes. And they do like little voting and like ballot boxes and stuff like that just to get them excited about voting. And so it's been really awesome working with them. And then I've also been able to register a lot of people. I work with another organization that does a lot of outreach through texting and like social media. So on the daily, I'm probably so annoying to people. On the daily, I text people like, are you registered to vote? Because if not, here's the link. Like, and I know people get annoyed with me, but I think it's so important and it's so easy to register. Like it's so not hard, especially in Washington. You can register on your phone on the internet. To me, it was just kind of a no-brainer. It's something I'm really passionate about. I want to work in politics when I'm older. So it's been really fun working with that. And like you said, it's super relevant this year. And it's awesome that I get to be Miss America's Outstanding Teen during this year, because I think, you know, in off years when the president is in his 2nd, 3rd year, it's hard to get people excited. Whereas now I'm like, we are electing the next president. Like this is a big year. So that's kind of why it's been really awesome to work with that this year.
I think that it's so needed. When I was 18, I registered to vote, and it was funny because I moved away to college, so I was out of state, kind of like what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I applied for an absentee ballot every single year to get my ballot sent to school so I could then submit it in my home state. And funny enough, I think it was last year, like, so I'm 24, so I've been able to vote for like 6 years. And I think it was only last year that I actually got to go and vote in person, because it was the only time that I had ever been actually home during an election, because it's November. And normally you're, you know, at school going through that. And it was, I think, one of those like springtime elections that was just like for some like local council. But I was like, I've never used one of these voting machines. But it was so funny. I was like, I voted every year. And then we get to that. And, you know, it's especially in college, and you're going to be a great advocate for this in college too, because a lot of college students, like my peers, I found constantly were like, whatever, I'm not going to get an absentee ballot. And I'm like, just get one. It's really easy. My mom's on here. My mom says, you used to go as a baby and a toddler. I used to go in the booth with her, and she would like carry me and be like, you can push the button.
That is so cute.
So
oh my gosh.
I grew up with it too, just like what you did. But I constantly feel like I'm like hounding my friends, like, you do realize that if you don't vote, you can't complain. Number one, so don't complain.
I always tell people that. I'm like, if you're upset, vote. Like, you have the potential to change the outcome.
Exactly. Girl, we're on the same page.
We are.
And I was just like, that. I still am constantly like that. And I was thinking, I think they just changed it. And of course, again, see, I'm the scientist. I think about the corona thing. And then you are in the election year. So now, how is the election going to be affected by the coronavirus? What are you thinking? What are you seeing from your perspective?
Oh my gosh. It's been a little hard for me because Washington, I was actually going to say this, I've never voted in person because we've had vote by mail for, I don't know how many years. I should probably know that. But, you know, I just turned 18. So this is my only experience with it. And so, you know, for us, it's like, we don't really have to think about how it's affected because we're still going to get our ballots shipped to us. But then, you know, we see what happened in Wisconsin, where you guys have to go out and vote in person. And clearly that's putting the public at risk. That's putting so many other, you know, people at risk. So I think there's so many things to consider right now with how that's going to affect the upcoming months.
I get to vote by mail now. I think Pennsylvania just went to vote by mail. I submitted some kind of application, but I always kind of vote by mail because I'm absentee. So I'm learning.
Yes,
it's so easy, but it's interesting to see how this is going to get affected. And like, really, I was kind of the same way we talked about this. Like, I didn't think that this was going to be as big of a thing as it was, but here we are trying to figure this out. Oh, I think she froze for a second. Can you hear? Oh, there you are.
Yes,
I was like, did we freeze for a second? That's, again,
we both froze.
We're good. But yeah, it's been totally crazy. And so my other thing is, did I tell you the story about when you performed at the tribute show and the song that you sang? Did I tell you this story?
No.
Okay, so for preface, so you sang the Rainbow Connection.
Yes.
Yes, you did. So I have been wanting to do this science demonstration called the Rainbow Connection, where it goes to the song. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, people that are watching, the Rainbow Connection is a Muppet song. And it's Kermit the Frog. And so what you can do is you can do this demonstration. My mom is commenting again. That's Cheryl. She's Mom America. You can use pH. So the acid-base reactions, you can do a pH demonstration, and different pH indicators turn different colors. I'm going to send you the link to it.
Okay.
There's this whole demonstration that this one science company came up with where it's set to the music of the Rainbow Connection. And I've been planning to learn how to do this. And you pour in all the colors, and they all go from clear to the rainbow. And then at the end, as the song ends, you pour them all back together and they all go clear again. And it's the wildest thing. And so everyone in
So
my
cool.
like state knows that I considered it for like Miss America and doing it on stage.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and here comes Payton, and she starts singing the Rainbow Connection. I'm like, it's meant to be. I'm like,
It's a sign.
maybe I'm gonna win, and she's gonna be my team. So what we have to do is, once I figure out how to time it, you're gonna sing it, and I'm going to do the
That is literally the coolest thing I've ever heard. We have to do that. Oh my
It
god.
was wild. I remember that. And like we were in the like me and the other
So
state title
crazy.
holders were in our little like area in the trip.
Yeah, that like section.
And I'm like, guys, she's singing the Rainbow Connection. And they're like, they don't know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They're like, the song, it's the song with the chemicals. And they're like, why does this have to do, it's the Muppet song coming. And I'm like, no, you don't get it.
We don't.
So that's my ridiculous story.
That's so crazy. Oh my gosh.
It was really cool. And it's a fun way, because a lot of these demonstrations that I end up doing are very much artistic in the sense that they are performance and they're timed very specifically, and you want them to be visual and engaging and all of these things. And so I was like, look, the rainbow. It was so funny. So I was so excited for that.
It's so meant to be.
And I love hearing you sing. You did Somewhere Over the Rainbow for Miss America's Outstanding Teen?
Yes. Yeah. I seem to have a theme, apparently, of just
I love it. Oh, that's
songs.
true, true. I just realized the rainbow. That's the Rainbow Connection.
Yep.
Ah!
And then my like homecoming celebration was like rainbow themed too. And oh my, yeah, it's inevitable. Has to happen.
Honestly, that's perfect. That's so fun. And so you got to have a homecoming. I'm jealous.
I know.
What have you gotten to do so far as Miss America's Outstanding Teen? Because you were crowned in, was it July or August?
Yeah, July.
So you've had a good while. So what have you gotten to do so far?
So, oh my gosh. Okay, so my first trip, I went to Carmel, Indiana, which I had never heard of before. And I got to go to the Songbook Gala, which was really cool because the man who runs it, he was one of my judges when I won. Oh. And so he invited me to come, and we watched just like all of these amazing performers, and he took us through the archives and stuff, which was just the coolest thing ever, because I'm such like a musical nerd, you know, of like art history and stuff like that. So it was so cool seeing like, you know, famous songs from like the 50s that were written on napkins, and they had like the actual napkin. It was just like, it was the coolest thing ever. So that was my first trip. And then let's see, I'm trying to like remember I can't even imagine how you keep them straight. I swear you're on the road every day. So like
I scroll through my photos and I see what pictures I've taken. That's how I know where I was.
You're like, that's how I go through them. Oh my God, I can't even imagine being that busy. Like that just sounds insane.
It is insane. But now I am not. So
I know.
It's also insane to not be like that. But you came to Philadelphia, I think. You did the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Yes. Oh my God, that was such a great trip too. Yeah. I was there for like a week, and I did a ton of different things, and I met a lot of local title holders, and I got to hang out with Riley, who's Miss Pennsylvania's Outstanding Teen, who has my whole heart. I love that girl. But yeah, I was in that parade, which was super awesome. And and we served like Thanksgiving dinner to some of the residents of Philadelphia, which was really cool. Just like, it was a really amazing trip. Lots of things. And then I think shortly after, I was in Nashville for their Christmas parade. It was like the very first of December though. So like, it was like a pre-recorded Christmas parade. But that was really fun too. That was kind of a shorter trip, but I actually got to tour Vanderbilt when I was there. So I kind of fell in love with Nashville. That was my first time there. Such a cool city. I love it. And then, oh gosh, went to Utah for the Utah's Outstanding Teen pageant. That was really fun. Oh gosh, I know there's others, and you'll
think of them.
I know. I'll have to go, like you said, I have to go back through pictures, or else you just forget like what you've done.
I've started to like write down like the cities that I was in so I can keep track. And then I download all of the pictures because I have most of the photos on my phone. And so I like download them, put them in a folder with a date on it, and then stick it on my hard drive so I can remember where I was. And
that's such a great idea.
I'm so afraid that if I like lose my phone, like if I'm in an airport and I leave it, and then I would lose all of the images from my year. So I try to do that pretty regularly. I'm not someone that loses things, but I'm paranoid to lose things. And so I always make sure that I'm like keeping track of it. So then it forces me to go back through them, which is also really cool.
Yeah.
But so how are you able to balance traveling with going to school? How has that worked for you so far?
So, I think that was kind of one of the things that, especially when we're in summer, none of the girls, like, we would talk about it. Of course, you know, we have all these rehearsals, and I don't think any of us really like thought about that. We're like, yeah, like it's school, like it won't be like it won't be that hard, you know. And we're all good students, so you know, we didn't really think anything of it. But you don't really notice or like realize how much missing an entire week of school like straight will, you know, affect you. And then especially there were times where like I would have trips back to back, and so I would be gone for a week, especially like Christmas time. That was where it got really crazy. I was like gone for a week. I'd be at school for like 2 days, and all my teachers would be like, you need to take tests, you need to, and I'm like, I know, and I'd be gone for the week after that. And then it was like, oh my gosh, yeah. So my school's really awesome though. They were really accommodating with me, and especially it helps so much that I'm a senior. I could not do this as a junior. It's just not, it would not have been possible. I know high school is probably like a little ways away for you, but you know, like sophomore, junior year, you're taking like the most AP classes. Those are like your busiest years. So I'm glad it was during my senior year, else I don't think I would have been able to handle it. But yeah, my school has been really awesome. Had to develop some better time management skills just a little bit.
Yeah. I can't imagine. I feel really lucky that I have to take the year off to do stuff, and I had to take the year off to be Miss Virginia.
Yeah.
So I actually am taking 2 total years off of school to do this. But I'd rather do that. I can't imagine trying to balance those things. And also your senior year has been a whirlwind then, because you're like in and out, and then now you're like, just kidding, can't go back.
Well, and then there's things where I'm like, oh my gosh, like I wish I was in school more, because now, you know, I couldn't do anything about it. But I don't know, you just always think you'll have more time, you know, and so now it's over, which is
the weird
bummer.
I can't imagine. I am speaking at the graduation for my college that I went to, which is really cool. And I've spoken to a lot of the seniors in college there who basically like left for spring break, and then they got the word over spring break that they weren't coming back. And so then they had to like go back to school and move all their stuff out and like frantically leave this place where they had gone to school, and they were like, wait a second, like I don't even get to really like say goodbye to this place. And I cannot imagine that. Like I feel for you guys so much, because I feel really lucky that I was able to go. For me, I didn't care as much about my high school graduation, but I think by that time I was like so done. I was like, get me out of here. But my college graduation, I would have been really upset if I didn't get to do that. But it's still like a monumental moment. Like I say that, like I don't want to take for granted the fact that I got to have a high school graduation.
Yeah.
And of course I have all those memories and the photos, and I got to do that with my family. And I really had more people at my high school graduation than my college graduation, because it was closer to home versus, you know, 7 hours away.
Yeah.
So my my grandma couldn't come to my college graduation because she can't travel. And so she got to see me graduate from high school. And so there's like those little things that I just am grateful that I got to do. Are you having like a celebration to celebrate your graduation at home, or something that you're doing to celebrate?
Well, we're still kind of waiting on the school. They are, I mean, obviously they want us to have a graduation and a prom and like all those things, but you know, we have no idea when our state is. I mean, we're planning on opening back up, or like we have a stay-at-home order right now. So that's planning on being released May 4th, but we still have increasing number of cases. So we have no idea if that's going to happen. But I mean, my admin at my school they're incredible. And I know they're doing everything they can. Like they literally said, if we need to have a graduation in August, like we're going to have a graduation. And, you know, we're going to have you guys there. So I'm hoping that like we still have some sort of in-person celebration. The hard thing is my school is quite large. Our graduating class is like 700, 800 students.
Wow.
Yeah.
Big.
So that's a lot of people in one general area, but you know, that can happen, and definitely having something, you know, at home that my family could come to, or close friends. I mean, I know my parents, like, they're probably more distraught than I am, because I'm like technically an only child. I have a half sister and brother, but they've moved out long ago. Like, they're quite a bit older, you know, and so to my parents, like, they're just heartbroken by all of this. And so I know they're like trying to do everything they can. They're like, we're gonna throw a party, like blah, blah, blah. I'm like, you don't, like, that's okay. We don't need to like get ahead of ourselves here. But yeah, so hopefully something happens.
You will have your moment, and maybe that would be actually really cool for you all to like have a graduation right before you go away to college.
Right?
That
I
could
was
kind
thinking
of
that
be
would be
fun.
kind of nice.
I wouldn't hate that. Like,
I know.
just to have the opportunity to do that and close that chapter and feel like you got closure from that.
Yeah.
Amazing. So what do you have anything else coming up on the horizon? How are you like maintaining Miss America's Outstanding Teen from home? What are you up to right now?
So like you said earlier, just like kind of trying to figure out how to do this job virtually. You know, obviously we can't travel or go into schools or a lot of those things that we were doing. So I've been, you know, setting up Zooms with other girls. Right now I'm trying to talk to a lot of the like states, because they're holding virtual orientations, because right now their state pageants are being held like mid-summer. And actually after this, I'm on a the Miss Tennessee's Outstanding Teen Zoom orientation, just to like pop in and say hi. Which in a way, it's kind of cool, because you get to interact with people that, you know, I wouldn't have really had an opportunity to interact with before. You know, they're not going to fly out the national title holder for an orientation, but like now, you know, I get a chance to talk to these girls. So that's kind of what I've been doing. I don't know. It's so weird, just like trying to connect with people, because really our only platforms right now are like social media. That's how we can reach out to people. So just kind of trying to figure out how to utilize that to the best of my ability, and still connect and make sure that like we're serving, because that's the whole point of this. And yeah, well, how have you experienced that? Like, what have you been doing?
I have learned how to set up a video studio in my basement.
That's cool.
So I have like garage lights and like a ring light and a table and a backdrop, because I'm doing science demonstrations virtually.
Oh yeah.
And so those are on the Miss America YouTube page and somewhere on the Miss America Instagram grid. So I've been doing those, and the women across the country have been doing their own versions of how-tos, like Miss America at Home, Miss America How-To. So that's been something that they've been working on, I've been working on. I've zoomed in to a couple different like organizations, some schools. I had to learn how to use like Blackboard to do, I guess Blackboard is something that I never experienced in high school.
I don't even know what that is.
I went to high school so long ago that we didn't really use online platforms. Because I'm just saying, like when I was a senior, it was like, we're going to put your worksheets online. We have this new technology. That's how long ago I went to high school. So,
oh my gosh.
Just saying. So they had to like connect myself in, but I did a talk with an entire group of 6th and 7th grade science students just this week. I did that. Had to learn how to figure out how to do Blackboard. Spoiler alert, you can't use Blackboard on a MacBook with the new operating system. It was a technology craziness.
Oh my goodness.
Or more information than what you need to know. A couple live science demos so there's these really cool science entertainers that go around and pretty much do what I do on a really large scale, and that's their real job. So the guy who does science for Ellen, the Ellen show, he and I have collaborated. We did a live broadcast last week where we made plastic out of cornstarch. That was really fun. And then there's another guy he does the science for Jimmy Kimmel and Live with Kelly and Ryan. We did like a Skype, it was a science snack time. So we talked about science. I did a little demo, and it's geared toward children. So I'm able to do a lot of science outreach, but I'm trying to figure out the ways that I can connect and do a lot of my social impact work virtually as well, because a lot of what I was doing with that was like doing keynote speeches at events and talking about it with groups and going to different centers and talking about medication safety with people. And so trying to figure out how to do that virtually, which I can do, trying to use social media for that too. So it's been, I feel like I've been really busy with the whole video piece of it, which is
you seem really busy.
I am, and just trying to. I will say, social has never been. I don't want to say I'm bad at social media because I don't think I am, but it was not something I was really familiar with or comfortable with coming into this role. It wasn't like my, and I'm grateful for that because it's not something that I focus on a ton. But it's so important during this time because it's the only way that we can kind of get our messages out there.
Yeah.
So I've spent a lot of time on figuring out like how to set up like a YouTube channel and do my Instagram and like connect all the things. And I'm like learning. So definitely I'm looking at this like an opportunity to grow, and it'll be kind of cool to have like science production videos, like so that it's kind of like something I can take with me when I'm done. It's like, oh, look at all those videos I made when I was Miss America, when I was quarantined in my house for 40 days. So
I
it's
think
been
it's
oh, go ahead. You're good.
I was gonna say, like, I think it's such a unique legacy in that way, because you know, like other Miss Americas, you're not able to travel during this time, but now there's this whole collection of videos of you doing these like really awesome demonstrations and working with amazing people that like we can look back on for years and years and years. So that's gonna be really cool to kind of look in the future.
I'm grateful for it, honestly.
Yeah.
I also have a genetic disorder. So for me, I have chronic fatigue syndrome, and I struggle with my energy levels, and I struggle to be able to keep consistently going on the road. And so it's the opportunity to I was joking. I remember joking in the beginning and saying like, wow, like how would Miss America work from home? Like that would be such a great arrangement. Haha. Because for me, with someone who has like energy struggles, I was like, wouldn't that be awesome? Now I say that like, well, now I can't do my job, so it's not so awesome. But it's given me this weird opportunity to like take care of myself and take time to rest and recharge and do my job from here. But I'm starting to get a little stir crazy. I feel like I need to go somewhere.
I feel that.
And the minute I get back on the road, I'm going to be like, okay, here we go again, because it's nonstop. So I'm grateful for the time that I get right now. But we have to be creative, don't we? And these cool Instagram lives have been a really fun thing that I've gotten to do. I did lives about 20 of the state title holders in the last 3 weeks.
Oh my gosh. So, I know. I see one like every day. It's so cool that you've been able to do that. Love it.
It's a wonderful tool that we have to be able to do these things. And so I was one of those people that was a little afraid of Zoom before this whole thing happened. Like people would be like, let's do a Zoom meeting. And I'm like, that sounds really complex. Now I think I use Zoom like.
Now you're like, I'm a master.
All I do. It's going to be, I really think it's going to change the way that we all communicate in the world, because it's going to be like, oh, of course, like let's just jump on a Zoom meeting.
Yeah.
Like, why do we have to get together? I mean, we could just socially. It's weird.
It is. Yeah.
But it's been really cool. So I'm excited for you. I'm glad that we got to chat, and I'm looking forward to being able to do something with you in person as all of this progresses. Is your year as Miss America's Outstanding Teen a little extended now because of this?
Yeah. We're not sure what the date for the national pageant will be. As I know, Miss America isn't either. So kind of waiting to hear on that. But yeah, as of right now, I'm not giving up my title in August. So we'll see what happens.
Well, that'll be cool for us, because then we can do more.
So I know. We have more time. And we can do your Rainbow Connection demonstration.
Just wait. I'm going to send you that link when we're done.
Please do.
You're going to really enjoy it.
Okay.
But
I'm so excited.
So thank you for joining me, and let everyone know how they can follow you also on your personal accounts if they want to follow you.
Okay. Should I type that, or can I just say it?
Whichever you prefer. You can say it or type it.
So in the little top left corner, it says with MAO Teen. So that's the Miss America's Outstanding Teen account that you can follow me on. And then my personal is Payton.May. But I post a lot more on MAO Teen. So if you want to follow me there.
Cool. Thank you, girlfriend. I'm so glad that I got to see your face, and I hope you stay healthy and well.
Thank you. You too.
Bye, girlfriend. Have a good night.
Bye. Thanks. You too.